Okay, so I'm going to go over the screenshots of what I said on the chat. I'm just showing you the number one because I want you to kind of see I'm not making this up. I'm not like sugarcoating it to make myself look better or something like, Reddit posts often do. I doubt it will accomplish anything since no one else ever acknowledges fault. I think I'm going to be honest. I had some serious issues with the trip. Not going to name names, but I witnessed several things that seriously pissed me off from others in this trip. And while not everyone was responsible for this, and if you weren't, this isn't directed at you, way too many of you were, so this needs to be addressed. Gossiping. Venting about others is fine sometimes, but when you try and badmouth them to literally everyone else behind their back, that crosses the line, and way too many did this. We are a storm-chasing team. Act the part and respect others. Number two, rudeness. Whether it was a necessary shushing of people in the halls, when it wasn't even later that loud, laughing when others got burned, or making remarks about people who are obviously having a bad day, describing it as throwing a tantrum. General rudeness was at a high level this trip, easily the highest of any trip I've been on. Unless you're some joker, I think I said, yelled to me twice and called me cringe. And I said something like, please respect others or something. Admittedly, this was a bit more emotional at first, but I edited it. And I was like, you know what, I was rude. I edited it. Let me go and I'll show you the next one. I'm not going to show the last one because the last one is basically shows someone else's name, and I'm not going to do that, even though I kind of really want to. Clicks. The whole trip, I felt that almost everyone was in a main van, and I and several others were always left out of the other van. This is evident by how I sat with some people almost every day because the other van was always too full for us to go elsewhere, where others I hardly sat with at all because they always were too busy sitting with the in crowd. Cliques and exclusion sucks, and it hurts people, and it def hurt me here. And while I'm hardly not used to being treated as such, that does not make it okay, and others might not handle it as well as I am and might be seriously hurt. Please consider how your actions affect others. Unfortunately, as it stands, I probably wouldn't chase with a fair amount of you again because I have no interest in being insulted to my face. People definitely did that a fair amount. Ignored, excluded, and having people gossip about petty trash. Who has time for that? Not me, for sure. I dealt with enough of that when I was still in school, and I deserve better, as does everyone. And hopefully those seeing this will realize their areas and treat others better in the future so no one is frustrated and hurt like this again. If not for me, for you, because this type of stuff will not serve you well in the workforce. Regardless, though, I'm going to play some TF2. I need to focus on more positive things. I think that was handled, not 100% perfect, but I think pretty well. I didn't resort to petty insults. I didn't, name names. I kind of just said, these are some issues, and I'm not the only one who faced this. Can we do better next time? Someone comments, well, you were correct. Disrespectful comments like this won't accomplish anything. Yes, there were some cliques. Some were because of photography. Some were because of past chases or classes together, and some even traveled here together. Listen, you gotta be, I don't really care. You gotta be not making others feel like they're constantly on the outside looking in, okay? People would always sit away from me. People would always basically shove me out of the way. I felt like I was the butt of jokes. I was treated like, just people were rude to me, and it's like they weren't rude to others. I felt singled out, okay? Whether or not you were intending that, that's how I felt. You need to understand that and show a little bit of empathy, for God's sake. See, again, this is what people don't understand, is when someone's mad and they just come guns blazing, there's no chance for a peaceful resolution. You're basically saying, screw you, you're wrong, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to put up with my feelings being invalidated again. Because that's what people always do. Even though I know it's just immature of me to comment on this, I won't let someone who has their profile pic that says, I hate everyone. What's your point? It's not like I have a freaking Nazi hate symbol or something. What's your point? And gambled the whole trip. I did not gamble the whole trip. I played other games. I talked with people. And need I remind you, you gamble too. What's your point? That's like me saying, oh, you're a bad person because you watch YouTube. I freaking content create. What is my point? Oh my God, I don't get some people. Like, that's your plan? Is that the best you could come up with? I'm sorry, that's laughable. That's like, you're grasping at straws, kiddo. And gambled the whole trip. Bad enough, some of the kindest people have had the privilege to meet. Yeah, that's why they said about they shushed people unnecessarily who were clearly disabled. Why they talked about someone who, yes, they threw something, but it wasn't at anyone. It was just on their own. And because they were mad, you talked about them having a tantrum. To their face, might I add. In front of them where they could hear. People made rude remarks at my expense, said rude things, and just made me feel bad. I'm sorry, but that's the nicest you've met. I think you need to get out just a smidge more. Or maybe acknowledge that some people could have handled things a little bit better with others, even if it wasn't with you personally. I'm sorry you felt excluded. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel the way, but the negativity you had was not helpful. What negativity? I'm sorry, the only instance I can think of where I was negative was where I told a joke. And people thought it wasn't a joke, it was me being mean. But I explained, listen, this was a joke, I didn't mean anything by it. What's your point? And I was nothing but nice to people on the trip. I thanked them when they did favors for me. I helped someone find their flashlight. I tried to smooth things over when someone was coming to me, really just kind of tearing someone else apart. I'm like, yeah, but you got to be easy. Like I think they might be disabled. They can't help it. You got to cut them a little bit of slack. And this is how I get treated for being nice? What the heck is your problem? Seriously. I will say this with more respect than you show them. Delete this comment and put down the phone and learn some manners. Yeah, sure, buddy. Says the guy who freaking makes up BS excuses and was rude to me half the trip. Seriously, you made several rude remarks at my expense. I'm sorry. I get so tired of people treating me this way. And you want to know why I have a profile pic that says I hate everyone? Is because whenever I try to talk about how I feel this way, this is how you people act. You show no sympathy, no empathy at all, and just try to crucify me. You never validate my feelings. You never say, I'm sorry, we can do better, even if it is, but you might want to handle yourself better too. You never do anything but blame me. You wonder why I hate people? This is why. Okay? How about acting in a way that doesn't warrant hate before you criticize me for hating people? Needless to say, the response was deleted and the thread was locked. I think, to be fair, the other guy's reply was deleted too, and I don't think I was banned from the group, but it just kind of shows people don't really care what you go through. People just care about not making waves. They never care about actually solving the problem. I really don't know what to say about this, except I sadly am not surprised. People act this stupid, and yes, I do mean stupid, because I'm sick of not using petty insults for stupid behavior. People do act this stupid to me repeatedly. It seems like literally when I talk about how I was ignored on an autism Discord group, people criticize me. Oh, you can't expect people to reply. I expect one or two people to reply at least and not, completely ignore me. And then change the subject and engage. That's just rude. And I've had that happen in multiple groups where I try to talk about something serious and people just ignore me and then just change the subject. And then when I criticize, they're like, oh, people are busy. You can't expect them to reply. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. If I expected everyone to reply, I would be out of line. But I am expecting someone to reply. Can just one person acknowledge what I'm saying? Is that too much to ask? Clearly not, because when you talk about something else you're more interested in, it's not. So I'm just tired of this shit, okay? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of feeling like an outsider. And sorry, but being silent has never solved anything. I put up with this crap for years in college, and I stayed silent about it. I didn't say anything. And what happened? It kept on going. I need to stand up for myself, and I need to make it clear that this behavior is not acceptable. Maybe that wasn't the best way to go about it, but heck if I know a better way. So, yeah. All I can say is, screw you if you're that person. I'm sick of people not having any sympathy.